Hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly live. Today, we'd like to talk about something a little bit different, and I will take the time to have you interact with me if you like to. So, even if you're not alive right now with me, if you're not live on this time, I know you could just type the questions or respond, interact with me after we're done with this, because I could go back and I could read it, and I really enjoy to hear what you have to say when we're talking about something that I found to be and in a way we all want to win, right? We all want to win in life and at work. And I found that there are few keywords, few things, concepts, ideas that are somehow very powerful, especially when you combine them. So today's going to be all about using the words with CO, starts with CO, combining is one of them. And you'll see that out of the entire alphabet, I love in English, I love those words that start with C. And there are a lot of them that it's going to be hard to choose from. But when I combine the power of commitment and contemplation, and I also look at what is happening with all of that when you put it into consistency, if you're also consistent about things, it's something in that makes this super powerful. And that's what I would like to talk to you about today. So let's see, before we started, I would love to hear from you. Hey, what are some of those? Which one of those? Let's say you'll have to choose, or which one, or even all of them. Drop in the comment below. So I'm going to help you also to see what we're doing. So I'd love to have you comment below which of those C words are that the one you connected, again, connected is a great word, with, and why. And is it contemplation? Is it commitment? Or it's consistency? Or maybe all of them. And I'd love to see if I can get to see your comments. I think they're going to pop up somehow here. If not, it's okay. We're going to do as much as we can with this. But it's very, very important to start with the contemplation. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to have a quick story immediately. But contemplation, it's something that we are not doing as much as we are usually we were designed to do. So unfortunately, we allow ourselves to be distracted, and we forget that if we take the time to contemplate, we will find so much about what's going on outside, what's going on with us, what's going on in our workplace, in our communities. And we can do so much when we make the time to save time later, or take the time right now to really grasp what's going on in our mind. So I'm going to put here a definition, so we can have a working definition. This is what I have for contemplation. And think about when was the last time you even did this? Think about when was the last time when you did it. So it's all about deep, reflective thinking. It goes beyond the introspection. It goes a little bit more deeper. And it's taking the time to really understand your thoughts, your emotions, and actions. And I'm so curious to find out how many of you take time out of your day just to sit and think. Just give me a thumbs up. Give me something if you do. I know that in my personal story, which I'm going to share with you about this, I'm teaching classes of different concepts, and the one I'm going to, by the way, we are doing week 2 of the Insightic challenge here, and as I was preparing the topic for tomorrow, which is time management, I was thinking about how when I'm in all the time and I'm meeting new people and I'm asking them consistently the same question, and I get back answers, and I'm looking at those answers, and unfortunately, I get that at least a third, sometimes 50%, sometimes 40, sometimes 30% of the people that I ask this question about how much time do they spend per week contemplating, introspection, or self-awareness, any of those things, right? When we ask that question, we're getting consistently, unfortunately, responses that not enough or not that much. So 50% of the people who are around us, they don't do that. You know what that means? That when you go and you want to interact, when you want to communicate something to them, when you want to have a discussion, go into a conversation, you disrupt them in a way. They can't do that so effectively. And one of the reasons is because this is like a muscle that we're not using. And if we were so good at contemplation and understand how that can be utilized and how necessary our brain, our part of the front cortex, part of the brain needs that, prefrontal cortex needs that, and how everything that's happening around us is going to become much better if we just pause, stop, think about it. Take 10 minutes. Just watch your window. I have a beautiful window here. I'm just seeing, let me see if I can show you. Yeah, I have 3 windows here, 5 windows actually. And now I can show you very much because of the lightning, but I do have green. I have trees. I have birds sometimes. I have things, right? I come up, I have all kind of little things that can take my attention and I can just contemplate. And I also, that is one way of doing this. Another way is for you to just really think about how, if you have a big decision, if you have something that you like to solve, those moments in which you're staying with yourself and you're focusing on wanting to understand, really understand your thoughts or emotions or actions, because that's what we want to do, is taking the time to really understand your thoughts, your actions, your emotions. And the more we can do that, the better we kind of process some of the things and the better we are to go out and to continue with what we will need to do today, our daily basis, right? So contemplation helped me grow, and helped me grow by looking at some of the actions, understanding why was I reacting in a certain way, understanding why some of the things are so important, why I keep why my value, understanding what my values are and what is something that's so important that in a friendship, for example, would be something that I care so much about it, like integrity and values, one of the values, right? And why am I so bothered when people are lying to me or want to lie? And I sense that. So those would be some of the examples where, by understanding what I value the most, I also understand what triggers me the most, and I'm able to express that. I'm able to now come out and to share that. And by sharing that with others, I bring awareness in our conversations, and I make those conversations that are more useful. Because now I can help you not to make assumptions, which is another thing that we want to do as a practice. We want not to make assumptions, right? We want to test our assumptions, but to have a way to come to talk to someone about certain things, stay in a conversation long enough to reach that point when you share certain things, it will matter very much so if you get to know yourself and if you are willing to share what you're finding out. And that can happen through contemplation. Some prefer to journal. I know I had that urge when I was much younger. And even now, I have sometimes I like to do that. I'm not doing it with the consistency that I should, but I do it when I need it. So journaling is something very good to do. Or I will. Right now, I find myself that it's much better for me, or I'm looking to stay in a conversation with someone. I love that interaction much more than just stay with a pen and paper. However, it's important to take something and look at it from all the perspectives that you can, and also understand your way of thinking. And if you want to engage with, I'm just curious, what are some of the ways that you practice contemplation? So share with me, I'm going to put this here. Share with me if there are some of the ways that you like the most. The meditation, do you meditate? Or maybe taking a long walks. I know that nature can help us a lot to ground ourselves. But what are the things? Let's learn from each other. What are some of the things that you practice if you practice contemplation? Are the most that I find that are helpful for you. As a practical tip, what I can share from what I know so far, it's to set your time daily to do this. If you could do this for 10 minutes in a quiet reflection, just 10 minutes quiet reflection can make a big difference. And I know everybody's competing for your time, right? Everybody's trying to get the time. Everybody's telling you 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. But I'm going to tell you that contemplating, it helps you with understanding what will be your priorities. And then when you want to make time for something, you'll know why is that important. If you don't allow contemplation in your life right now, or even introspection, or any of those that can go hand in hand for different usefulness, you will find that you're going to feel that you are in that spinning the wheel, and you just keep up with stuff that's happening, and that is not healthy. It's not healthy. And we're not going to talk about why it's not healthy right now, but believe me when I say that. You could also research. It's not healthy to stay in that. So interrupting that, having the time for you to journal or to write, just put your feelings regularly. Check where you are, even if you're doing mentally quickly, before a meeting, after a meeting. Staying in that quiet time. We all, even if we are introverts or extroverts, we need that time alone with ourselves. And also some of the practice, add some of those practices that work for you. Is it prayer a good way? It's helping me. It's taking it when I'm not thinking about finding why am I reacting? I'm packing all of that with a prayer, and that helps me to settle. But it's going to be so important to find out what works for you, because remember, you are unique. You're wired in a different way, and you want to find out what works out of everything that you find out or listen or stumble into. So let's go to the second one, because commitment is the second one. And this second one is important, even if you're curious. If I made you just slightly curious, 1% curious on what contemplation really can bring in your life, you'll need to commit to it. So commitment is that part where why it's so important is because it helps you to see, are you all in or not? Are you dedicating yourself to fully to whatever, let's say, it's a goal, or it's a value, or it's something that's important to you? Because if you're not committed to purpose, to vision, to your company's vision and purpose, you're not going to be able to execute. You're not going to be able to stay there and be creative or come up with the best solutions. That's why people who are not, they don't love their work. They find like it drains them. they're not going to be a high performer. They're not going to be seen by others as bringing excellence to customer service or to something. You have to love to serve people and to solve problems for people, to be in customer service. And if you are doing that, if you make that commitment to the goal of the company that you want to work for, you're going to find out that even if your salary, complaining, this is one word that I don't like about from the cohorts, but hey, you find ourselves that the money that you're making in a company, it's going to feel like you're making so much more when you're in a place where you do something that you love and you can contribute. And I'm just curious to see if through contemplation, you can identify your values and then you can commit to them. And when you commit to them, something happens in our brain when we're committing, and it's so important to know that when you commit to something, you are just half the way through achieving it, if not more. And what else? It's more than a decision. So commitment is not just it's more than making a decision. Okay, I decided to go there. No, it's more. It's a promise to yourself. First of all, when you make a commitment, you make that promise to yourself. Even in a relationship, a commitment, you make a promise to yourself. Bring yourself to that relationship fully and do the best you can and stay there and be committed to one another. So commitment is first to yourself and then to other people. So look at that. When you feel like you're not aligned and you're anxious, you have all those feelings that misalignment kind of bring you to that, is because you probably are not committing to do what you say that's important or stick to your values. You're probably operating in a way that you're making something that you know shouldn't be done, or you're not totally okay with it. But guess what? You don't have time to really see what it is or what's happening there, because if you're not spending time on contemplation. That's how those are connected. So let's find out how many of you have set some of the goals and at the end of the year that you're truly committed with. So at the beginning of the year, we usually do that, right? We're kind of, hey, let's make sure we're going to, I don't know, lose weight or something, or whatever the common ones that we do, and see where we are. We're half the year in already. Where are you right now with that committing to that goal? And if you dropped it, don't feel bad, because that wasn't your priority. You did not make a commitment. When you make a commitment with a goal, you're setting it through. And type yes in the comments here if you have made a commitment and you know what I'm talking about. How different it is when you feel that you're committed to doing something, versus to when you make a decision and you're pushed by others to do it and you're kind of not sure, but you're going with the flow and you think that you're going to figure out while you are on that journey how to make it better or how to make you. I have a good news for you in a way. If you don't feel that commitment from the beginning, it's going to be very hard to reach out to it later, especially if you don't take the time to assess where you are and what you want to do. So I remember a time when I committed to do something for my health, for example. And it was kind of hard, but I was stubborn. I could stay into that commitment because I knew how important, and I wanted it connected with one of my values, which I identify that I care about. And I do not want to, if I start something, not to finish it. So that's one of the things that I care, and I could stay. I made a commitment, and I could stay with that activity until I made my mind to stay with just a couple of days or some period of time. And that really helped me to be able to overcome any of those obstacles and other things that are coming in your way. Staying committed, knowing what did you committed to and what's the outcome that you know you're going to get if you go through something. It really, really helped. And I could see that how one of the outcomes that you may have from you showing commitment and be in the world in that way is that you can inspire others, which was a surprise for me. I did not know. I did not make it with that intent, but I saw that that happens. And I think this is beautiful because now by inspiring others, now others can do something that is good for them too. And when they make that commitment, even if they thought that they can't do it, now they can actually have hope and do it. And that's the contribution again that is very, very important for me. So let's see if we have a question here. I would like to ask you again, what is one goal that you're committed to right now? Can be either a professional or a personal one. And if you like to share in the comments, I would love to hear about that. What happens when we put our goals out, when we say it out loud, when we are increasing that commitment? Although it's all okay, it's totally fine if you just make up your mind to do something and you keep it to yourself until it's done. That's totally okay. But if you feel like it helps for others to sustain you, to support you in any of the journey, it's much better to tell them so they're not going to be one of those obstacles. They can actually at least help you by clear the space or clear that path for you in the way they can. So here's some of the practical tips on this. So if you like to think about defining why do you want to do that, understand your why in that, let's call it a goal right now. Why is that important to you? And then you can break it down as a next step. Break that down into smaller things and manageable steps and start with that. But make sure you are emotionally connected, committed to that as well, not just with your logic. And stay, of course, what? Stay consistent. Stay consistent because regularly reviews of your whatever you're doing and stay focused. Bring that contemplation back into the system here. If I would just draw for you a picture right now, you have this that you're kind of spinning around and just let them go from leaning on one and then another, like 3 big bubbles that can support and help you take you wherever you want to go in a way. So that leads us to the last one that we're going to talk about today, which is the consistency. I think anything that I've done so far I'm going to take it from my work, probably background. It's so important to improve a process if you are consistent. It's not so important to discover quickly what works and what doesn't, as it is important to know that you have consistency, because without the consistency, you're not going to know which one works or not. You can't just make assumptions and say if something today is like this, tomorrow will be the same. You have to wait for tomorrow, the day, and another day to kind of observe. Again, bring that contemplation in to really know that whatever process, it's good or bad. And then think about what else it's there that is not functioning well, that you may want to improve, for example. So consistency is the key to turning small actions into significant results. I like that. I like that it's also about showing up every day and putting in the effort. You gotta put in the effort for whatever you want to do. That's why the commitment goes so well. You see, it's like peanut butter and jelly, like somebody would say, probably. It works so well, right, with one another. And when you put this effort, no matter how small, and you stay there in that consistency, you'll get to see the results that you want. I often talk about, we're looking some of the things that are having an effect on us. For example, when we have a headache, and yes, when you take a pill, the things from this society, hey, let me give you something and quickly it's going to go away or whatever. And you take that pill and it's having a quick effect. Well, there would be times when you actually want to wonder, why do I have that headache? I don't want to take the pill yet. I want to figure out what is going on right now. What's causing it? Maybe it's the water. Maybe I need more water first. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to assess again, look at the situation, and just maybe see if I can use that pill or not. But instead of a pill, there is another alternative. And sometimes it's this peppermint oil. You put it on your forehead and it may work. But that peppermint oil may work sometimes as fast as the pill or sometimes not. Sometimes you may need to apply 3-4 times. So you need to have consistency with certain things when you use them for an outcome. And otherwise, if you're just expecting that pill that oil to work exactly like that pill, it's not going to. And if you are able to go in and really look at one decision versus another, well, the pill is great, but what the pill does, it kind of goes in and it's just zooming up the entire interrupts the connection so you don't feel the pain. That's why it's called painkiller. But if you just want to understand that how our body works, it gives us those signals, and that pain is there so we can figure out why is there. And then instead of me going and carrying this bottle of whatever pills are in my pocket and take them all the time, I just realized that I need water. I just realized that I need to drink more water, and then I have no headache. So you see, I'm giving you now, and I'm making this up. I usually don't have headaches, thank God, but I needed to learn how to drink water. So it's important to see how can you utilize all of those concepts to get you what you need at the end. And what will be at the end is for you to analyze and to see how this consistency, how long did I stay in that decision or with that commitment in order to get where I needed to go. Maybe it was a wrong one. Fine, that can happen too. But at least if you don't stay consistent enough, you're not going to be happy at the end that you stopped probably too soon. So look at that and bring the contemplation in, because that is how your brain is going to support your thinking, your process, everything that goes there. You need to learn how to utilize this in order to make the best out of all of those 3 concepts that I'm sharing with you today. So that's why consistency is critical. And you could stay, it's not about huge leaps. You just want to find out. The beauty here is how well you can break things down. How well do you learn how to do that or know about how to do that? And then see those small, steady progress. That's why you were going to hear about 1% improvement. That's a lot over a year. If you started with to improve on something 1% at the beginning of the year, think about where you were right now. I'll let you do the math, okay? Because that's going to be crazy to realize what 1% of improvement actually does for us, even if it's on a monthly basis. Let's say it's not on a weekly basis, But even if it's on a weekly basis, it's going to be huge by the end of the year. So let me ask you this question then. What is one habit, something that you successfully maintained through consistency? Share that with us, please. Why we want to see that is because, again, you can inspire others. You're going to see how that can help not just you, but others as well. It could be anything from exercise to learning to a new skill, or just share your wins in the comments. I know my kids are using Duolingo, and I was very happy to see how much of a commitment exists for them to do this daily. So they want to do it daily. They're going to be very sad if time passed by and they didn't do it. So they do it. They always say, oh, I have a few more minutes, let me do that. And helps them build this consistency. They're going to take that, and later on in life, they're going to utilize that so well with anything else that they want to commit themselves to. Practical tips, well, set a routine. Create a daily, weekly schedule to follow. And tomorrow I'm going to give you some information about that time management and how important, what's important there is how you prioritize, and what makes it to your schedule should be things that you know they're important for you. But if you don't contemplate to understand what those things are, you're going to end up in your calendar and in your daily activities with a lot of stuff that's pulled out from you and asked of you, and you can't say no to because you have no idea what else you should do in place, or what else is different, or what is important for you. For me, contribution is important. Again, another word, contribution it's an important thing. So if I get the idea that I can contribute to something, I'll go. But if that's a priority, if I'm learning to become better at prioritizing, I could say no to that because I have something else that I might contribute to that's more important, or has a more outreach for what we're doing. So set that routine, track your progress, and use some of the tools, maybe apps, anything that exists right now. It's crazy what you can find there to help you monitor your consistency. If you're not consistency, if you're not drinking water in the morning and then afternoon and lunch, if you're drinking whenever, and then you can't say that headache appears again and again. You want to see what is happening. Learn to think and pause and stay with that. Make time for that. It's so important. And then celebrate wins. Small wins. You don't have to wait to celebrate for a larger win. Just celebrate. Learn to celebrate every day or weekly. Acknowledge, again, to contemplation. Think about what happened and what are some of the actions and how your emotions, and just engage in that. Reward yourself for some things and others who were there with you. I hope that this is going to help some of you. You're going to get to see that what prompted me to talk about this is that we're sometimes wondering why we're not happy. And the reason we're not happy is coming from the fact that we don't allow ourselves enough time to think about what is it that will make me happy? What are some things that we need to do? What are my values? Am I in line with the values? What are some of the emotions? What things are coming up? What is going on? So we want to see if you have anything else to type in, please do so anytime. I'm going to come back and check those out. And also, if you have any questions, I'd like to open the floor for you. I want you to take a look and think about what challenges do you face with some of those principles. And if I could help you in any way, please ask away. I would also love to do a poll at one point and ask you, which one you find of those C's to be the most challenging to implement. And then why? Let's talk about why. So if you like to do that, go ahead. I'll give you a few seconds here. And I would love at one point to talk about what's happening in our body and how we are when we're doing any of those three principles, how we start with it from our brains, what's going on in the entire body, our nervous system, how it interacts, our adrenaline or all those chemicals are hormones. It's so important to understand how that works. It's fascinating. I'm going to probably bring some of that for those of you who are so excited about finding how our beautiful body, things that we have inside, beautiful creation that we are actually working. So let's wrap up. Remember that contemplation will help you understand and reflect. Commitment will drive you to achieve your goals, and consistency will ensure that you get that steady progress. So we want to put them all together as a powerful trio for your success. If you find today's discussion helpful, don't forget to like it, share it, and follow for more insights. I love to continue this journey together and support each other in our growth. And before we sign up, I really challenge you to pick up one of those C's, 3 C's. Which ones? Let me know. At least one, and share and focus on this week. Share your experience, please, with me on LinkedIn and or here on other platforms that we are distributing this to. And I can't wait to hear how this goes. Thank you for joining me today, your participation, and for asking me questions, even if they're in private or not, or put them out there for those that are so courageous. And let's stay committed to our growth. Remember that our conversation, it's what is going to keep us and it's going to create a great culture for us. You see why I have so many words with C's that I love? But we are responsible for doing that. Have a fantastic day. See you soon.